Welcome back to the Season 2, Season 3 premiere of
Family Meeting.
My name is Matt Glass.
And I'm AJ Tsunari.
And this is Family Meeting, a show that is in its Season 2 in our Season 3.
Yes, this is a show all about compromise.
Yeah.
The Family album.
And we're very much in an experimentation period right now as we're trying to figure some stuff out. But AJ, again, I feel a presence in the room.
Yes, in this spooky month, the presences felt are usually very unnatural, and we have the most unnatural presence with us. Please welcome beloved guest Tom Murphy.
The ultimate compromise. I've wormed my way into yet another show.
There is a purpose for him being here. So in an earlier episode of Tom Hates Albums, we reviewed, or he gave his thoughts on the quintessential glam rock and rockabilly album, Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf
Yes,
and Jim
that's
Steinman.
true.
My highest rated album.
That's correct.
And it's fantastic. But Tom had said something kind of troubling to me, that he had never watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Some crucial Meatloaf viewing.
It's also like part of the Meatloaf lore.
Yeah.
The meat lore, if
The
you
meat
will.
lore.
We thought it would be great if he gave his thoughts after watching the movie.
Yeah. And we've also just wanted to talk about Rocky Horror for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
So any excuse to watch the movie again, we're down for.
Truth be told, family heads, AJ and I had originally wanted to go see a live showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, but due to conflicting schedules and
Bad planning.
yeah, we kind of needed to compromise, and we felt that this was the best way.
Yeah, we had our own little screening at the studio. We all dressed up in costumes and threw shit at the screen. It was great.
The ultimate compromise was just, we'll bring Tom on instead.
Yeah. the people love him, and they'll love this episode.
God willing. But yeah, Tom, you're here.
I am. It's wonderful. I'm excited to be on the family meeting.
That's
I have
true.
to do it.
You're knocking
I
like-
can't say it
You're
any
knocking
other
every
way.
show off.
It's true. Now I just need to find my way onto a regular episode somehow.
That'll be the toughest one.
I just need one of you to get like really sick for like a month so that you need to record.
I think Tom's gonna poison us.
I was gonna say, yeah, this sounds pretty sketchy. If you want me to
It's
be
okay.
honest.
I'll be moving all of my vials of acid into the bunker
I
by
see.
next episode. So
Be on the lookout for that. But
Yeah.
let's get into some history, Matt. Before we can talk about the movie, let's give some context about what it's all about.
So, do you want me to do a little bit of a plot synopsis,
Yeah,
or
go
do you want
for
me to
it.
just? Oh, okay, cool.
Spoiler
So,
alert for a movie from the 70s.
it's been out for quite a while.
Yeah,
to be fair,
there was a reboot.
I hadn't seen it until today.
Yeah.
So 23 years of life. And I'm giving out free Tom lore. I'm 23
Yeah.
at the time of recording.
They're gonna find you now. They're gonna
That's true.
dox you.
Hey, that'd be wild if that's the key information they needed.
Just your age.
Was my age.
So, Rocky Horror was originally a stage production written by Richard O'Brien and Jim Sharman.
Jim Sharman of the toilet paper company.
Ultra strong.
Yep.
Rocky Horror Ultra Strong.
Rocky Sharman Picture Show.
And it has a dynamic cast of Tim Curry as Dr. Frank Infurter,
Yes.
Susan Sarandon as Janet Weiss, Barry Bostwick as Brad Majors,
Yes.
Richard O'Brien as Riff Raff,
Yes. Me and AJ are perfect impressionists.
Patricia Quinn as Magenta,
Yes.
Yes.
Little Nell as Columbia.
Yes.
Fun fact, Little Nell on the wiki, description of her character just says a groupie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's it.
Just like
it's accurate.
Well, it's no roadie, but
By Meatloaf. Jonathan Adams as Dr. Everett V. Scott.
God, what a good character. Yeah.
Peter Hinwood as Rocky Horror. Trevor White is the uncredited voice of Rocky singing.
That's right.
Meatloaf as Eddie.
That was spot on.
Thank you.
Like a bat out of hell.
And Charles Gray as the criminologist.
Yes.
In terms of the plot, basically, these newly engaged people named Janet and Brad, after going to their friend's wedding
Decide to get hitched.
themselves.
Rushing
So,
into it very fast.
Speaking of rushing, they went in the woods late at night to try and meet up with their old professor, Dr. Scott.
To celebrate.
But in the middle of a dark and stormy night, they get a flat tire and decide to take refuge and seek shelter, partially, from a castle up the road.
Yes,
All
they
the-
infamously passed by.
All the employees of that church were the people from the castle, right? I know
Yep.
Tim Curry was there, but like
Yeah,
over the course of
Riff
the movie, I was like, was Riff Raff the guy with the
Yeah.
pitchfork?
They point the,
The
criminologist.
American Gothic.
The
Yeah.
criminologist points
Yeah,
it
it has
out.
like a circle.
Yeah.
The YouTube
Look at
thumbnail
me.
circle.
We drove our car into the woods. You wouldn't believe what happens next. ...
At 1 a.m. Gone,
Gone
sexual.
sexual. That actually sums up the movie pretty well.
Honestly,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. This sci-fi adventure is a cult classic that's been going strong since 1975.
And for good reason. It's a phenomenal movie. It means a lot to a lot of people for both expressing one's sexuality and
Yeah.
from kick-ass fucking music
Really,
and campy B-movie tropes.
that is very, very true.
I love the visual effects in this
Yeah.
movie so much. I love weird movies. I just love movies in general, and I love when you watch a movie that's older like this, and the visual effects hold up in such like they were campy for
And
the
like
time, which was done intentionally, and now they're just like campy, which adds to the whole
charm,
vibe
yeah.
of the movie. Is so good. Chef's kiss.
It's fantastic too with like all the effects because the effects hold up, the music holds up,
Oh,
the
yeah.
story holds
The
up,
acting, the
the
singing.
performance. Whereas like one of my other favorite movies, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, like the effects are all there.
Oh, yeah.
But boy howdy, is the dialogue and the plot not really.
Non-existent.
No.
What do you mean? That's a perfect film.
There's clowns in there. It's outer space.
I love Killer Clowns.
the cotton candy cocoons.
Cocoon.
The pies that melt the cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
The gay ice cream drivers.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I remember
You can just
those.
call them ice cream drivers. It's implied.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that Tom finally sees the cinematic masterpiece of Rocky Horror. Now, Tom, this is family meeting, where typically we've only reviewed one other film, right? And that was The Grand Romantic.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So this is a huge step up in quality.
Yeah, definitely.
But this is basically a pseudo version of like Tom Hates albums.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, except it's a movie, which I notoriously love movies.
But it's also a musical, so it has music in it.
Yes, that's true.
So it's best of both worlds.
Just broad thoughts. What did you think of the movie?
It was really good. Not as much Sylvester Stallone as I was hoping for. When I heard Rocky, I thought
Yeah.
this was an unofficial sequel.
It was a bit of a Rogue One situation. They CGI'd him out. Yeah.
I could tell. I could tell. He was born to play Riff Raff. I just feel like Sylvester Stallone
Rock Raff.
role. Exactly. Why does that sound vaguely like Scooby Doo? I don't know what you're saying.
Rock face.
I also could have used more Meatloaf. I mean, obviously the character was what the character was meant to be.
Yeah.
Meatloaf was perfect to come out on the motorcycle and do all that stuff.
Do his little 50s
God,
tribute.
I wish he had like 3 more songs though. I
Yeah,
do
that would have
love.
killed.
Susan Sarandon's vocals were incredible.
Oh,
she
yeah,
was
dude.
a phenomenal singer.
And you know what's so funny? She had said in like interviews post production that her singing voice she felt was not strong whatsoever.
That's insane. I
Yeah.
think she was the strongest.
Dude,
I
in
think
Roast
she
in My
had the
World,
best.
she fucking like kills. Besides Tim Curry, of course.
Oh, and superheroes, she does a really, really good job.
Yeah.
I don't think Tim Curry had that great of vocals. I just think he had such an energy that it was like, because his vocals were very like, oh, I
mean,
Tim
I
Curry.
disagree.
It just
Yeah.
kind of sounded like him talking, but he had such a.
I don't know. Like
He was such a performer that it was.
Do you hear his vibrato though? Like that
I
shit
don't
goes
know.
hard. That shit
It was.
goes
I
crazy.
think Susan Sarandon's vocals were better. Personally, I'm gonna get crucified for this opinion.
Probably
You
not.
thought
Not really.
my Tom Hates albums were controversial.
This is something that he can like talk about confidently
Exactly.
a movie. So,
Yeah.
exactly.
so let it rip.
Opinions.
Let it rip. All your thoughts.
I liked Susan Sarandon more, not
was
just
great.
because she was incredibly attractive.
She is great.
Yeah,
I don't. I feel like me saying that after you said she was incredibly attractive sounded really.
Listen. If they were here for the dialogue during the film, they'd understand. Tim Curry was incredible.
Yeah.
The
Oh my gosh.
performance was incredible. I almost liken his his on stage persona, like performance, to like the Elton Johns and Freddie Mercury's of the world. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I mean,
that just like
yeah.
stage presence,
Of course.
And that's why I do think Susan Sarandon's vocals were better, but his performance
Performance.
was on a Freddie Mercury-esque level.
So much gusto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any vocals could have came out of his
confidence.
mouth, but the performance was just so strong that it was like he could have sounded like, "Oh, I'm Tim Curry. This is the me," like, and we all would have been like, "Incredible! Look at
Yeah.
the performance." You know
Give
what
him
I
an
mean?
Oscar.
Instead, they came out like, "I'm Tim Curry."
It's kind of wild to me that like He was because he has so much range. Because he was also Pennywise, the dancing clown.
That's right, in the 90s.
And he was also the hotel manager in Home Alone 2.
He was also in
Fern Gully.
That's what Fern Gully is what I was trying to think of. He's really good in Psych, if anyone has watched the show Psych.
I've never seen Psych.
He was also in Criminal Minds.
That tracks. Was he like a murderer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was
that
he was easily, I think, one of the scariest characters in the entire show.
Did he reprise his role as Frankenfurter?
Yeah. He murdered someone with a pickaxe.
Nice.
How have we not talked about Clue? We've been naming movies he's in and we didn't even mention Clue.
I have an even better poll for you.
What's that?
The Wild Thornberries. He voices
Jesus
Nigel.
Christ, I forgot.
Did you do that in the show too?
He voices Nigel
Whoa,
in The
that's
Wild
awesome.
Thornberries. And Flea voices the boy.
I do know that. The boy Thornberry.
It's like Guy Fieri,
Yeah,
but like
boy Thornberry.
He was so fucking good in Muppet Treasure Island.
We could talk about Muppets on another episode. We're talking about Rocky Horror.
No, I'm going to tell you what his character was called. Fuck you. He was Long John
It's okay.
Silver.
It's okay. It's
and he
family
was
meeting.
so good. Tim Curry is incredible, and this movie is just another notch on that fucking pedestal.
it's actually kind of what put him on the map.
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah. Because he was also the actor in the stage play, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
They got put on the silver screen, which is what this movie is also a lot about, paying tribute to the 50s, basically, for both the horror and sci-fi and the music, showing the shift from retro rockabilly to 70s glam and how that kind of affected the culture.
And
at the time.
it's interesting too because in a previous episode with Emma Strauss, our good friend, please listen to that episode. It's really, really
Yeah,
good.
it was a lot of fun.
I feel like this is another example as to how sci-fi and glam rock kind of
yeah.
can just like merge so well together as genres because it's so flashy and in your face.
I love sci-fi also.
It's so good.
Not problem. I generally tend to lean towards the sci-fi that's like incredibly like crunchy, like your Star Treks of the world. You know those like
Star Trek fucks them.
Three Body Problem is a really good sci-fi book, and it just became a series. It's like the crunchiest of crunchy, like hard sci-fi. This is very much the other end of that. It's almost like leaning towards fantasy sci-fi, where it's just kind of like, and I'm an alien with a laser gun. Spoilers. Sorry about that. But it's magical, and I do love it. It's so fucking good.
It's my honest to God, like it's probably my top maybe like 30 movies.
Yeah,
It's also like a comfort movie for me.
definitely. I might go as far as say it's a top 10 for me. I fucking love Rocky Horror. It's fantastic.
I also don't know if I can like name my 20 favorite movies.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a
I
list
can barely
of
get
them.
10.
I have them listed on my letterbox, but I don't think Rocky Horror would be my top 20, or maybe even not top 20. I don't know where it would fall, but I've watched a fucking way too many movies in my life though, and I draft all. You know how I made a spreadsheet for this show? I do that for movies and stuff too. I'm a
Bit of a movie
I'm a
buff.
cool guy. I got a lot of friends for sure.
All your movie watching buddies.
I definitely wasn't lying on the Weezer episode when I referred to myself as a sex haver.
Speaking of sex having, there's a lot of sex in this movie.
Oh
It's
boy,
true.
howdy.
Yeah. Probably some sex that didn't age quite so well.
No,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say there are
well.
a couple scenes that are pretty
Risque, problematic.
horrible.
Yeah.
Rocky Horrible Picture Show.
So this movie has a lot of really amazing dynamic scenes. I mean, like there are some parts where like the acting is just so fucking over the top,
Oh
and
yeah.
I love it.
It's perfect.
And it works in some places, but then it's just comedically funny in other places.
Yeah.
Like Brad, for some reason, I don't think I ever realized his acting is so over the top in the more like minute moments.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
it's really funny.
Can anyone do with a Madison?
Say.
He's the whitest man in the world.
That's
Never
true.
have I seen someone so aggressively go for a handshake
Oh yeah.
in the most wild moments.
He's a 50s man in a 70s world. And there's of course the back and forth when they call each other's names. Dr. Scott. Brad.
Janet.
Rocky.
That's honestly that was the perfect sound effect for what
Thank you.
he did.
That was the sound of his head turning.
God, that was such a good bit.
Well, to kind of segue into a little bit more structure, Tom, do you have like a favorite song, do you think, from this film? Or if you want to just name a couple that jump out
Yeah,
to
that
you?
you liked.
I mean, Time Warp is
It's iconic.
It's a fucking
iconic.
classic.
Yeah.
I liked the one that Meatloaf sang. I couldn't tell you what it's
Hot
called.
Patootie,
Patootie,
Bless My Soul.
That's a crazy
Yeah.
name. I don't even know if I could say any of the words or sing it, but I had played and I didn't hate it.
There was saxophone.
There was saxophone.
Yeah,
Brad held it
Notorious,
for the rest.
notorious sax haver.
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
When he threatened your life with a switchblade knife.
What a guy.
I loved the like motorcycle shot where they had the camera like behind his
Yeah,
head.
that was
I
awesome.
love those.
The
like,
POVs.
Oh, God, I love old movie like camera angle. It's
Yeah.
fascinating. I don't know. The music was all good, but none of it like jumped out any more than other than like Time Warp because it's like the most iconic, and then Meatloaf
Because you like him.
because I like Meatloaf, not the musician, the food.
They have both of that in the movie.
That's
well,
true.
Yeah.
They ate a bit of meatloaf, but not that kind of meatloaf. Well, kind of that kind of meatloaf.
I have a question. Like for like musicals in general, if you've ever watched them, like does the music usually always stick out to you, or like ever stick out to you?
I feel like it's usually when I watch musicals, like I either love the whole, because a lot of times with a musical, the soundtrack is usually pretty, like they either all stick to me or
Yeah.
like none of them. And this is a rare case where like some of them do, and like I enjoyed all of the songs. I don't foresee myself listening to any of these songs really outside of an occasional rewatch of the movie.
Yeah.
I also don't see myself rewatching it super often. Like I don't think it'll become a comfort movie for me.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's
But-
kind of. I mean, that's more for personal. You know
That
what I
might,
mean? So
that
it's
might
like-
also just because I'm finding it at like an older, you know what I mean? Like if I found this movie when I was 10
Yeah, like
and I
younger.
fell in love with it, then it'd be different. But like I found Jurassic Park when I was 10, and that's one of my comfort movies.
That
Or
makes
like
sense.
Back to the Future are my comfort movies.
Yeah, Jurassic Park was like really influential in like developing the person you are,
Yeah.
your sexual orientation.
Yeah, I fucking God, it's a good thing those guys are extinct. You know what I mean?
the P is silent.
Someone's got to Rex that T. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, if the music didn't stand out like as much, well, I mean,
trying to-
you name some.
Yeah.
Was there a scene in particular
Oh, which-
that you'd like to discuss?
Ay caramba.
I don't know. There were a lot of the scenes were really good. The final number was also interesting. I feel like a lot of the music, again, I was less worried about the music and more encapsulated by like the performing happening. If that made like I heard less of the words because I was interested in what was happening on screen.
Okay.
Like I thought them all being statues and coming out one by one and doing their number, that was interesting. Like I thought that was really cool at the end. Every time Tim Curry was there, just
Yeah, steals the
being
show.
Tim fucking Curry.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to
Fay
Fay
Wray?
Ray?
God, he's so good.
He's amazing. He's hot.
He's both pretty groovy.
Oh, maybe as it, but other than that, I'm trying to think if any of the scenes like really. I mean, the meatloaf scene.
It's a good
Yeah.
one.
You know,
awesome.
you know why the meatloaf
Rules.
scene was stuck out to me? Because it came out of fucking nowhere. Because
Yeah.
they like
He breaks out of the
they
freezer.
explain why he was there later in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like all of a sudden a wall fell over and Meatloaf shot out of it
Yeah.
on a motorcycle.
That is true. They
and I was
don't
like,
really.
what the fuck is going on?
So for those who don't know, Meatloaf's character Eddie, he ends up going to the Frankenfurter's castle,
Yeah.
and never comes back out because one gets tortured, his brain gets harvested for one half of the monster's
Yeah,
brain.
he was at one point.
then-
He was also at one point the lover of Frankenfurter.
Frankenfurter.
Yeah,
He
Well,
wanted.
I'm
like,
gonna go on a limb and say everyone was,
for the most part.
That's true.
Yeah,
But the
whether
thing,
they wanted to or not.
to preserve his body afterwards, they cryogenically freezed him.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they never really explain how he becomes unfrozen.
no, they don't. Maybe
Well,
it's
it
just
just kind of
like
happens. Maybe there's like a power shortage after he brings the monster
Rocky
to life.
Yeah,
That's
knows?
interesting.
Yeah.
I like that theory. That makes sense.
I mean, they also don't really
like a power surge.
They also don't really explain the fact that in the ending scene, they're all being mind controlled.
that's also. I was always confused by like why they're all like into it.
You kind of have to put some stuff together
Yeah.
because there are like a few there's sci-fi tropes all over this movie.
And I feel
mad
like-
scientist, like
Bringing a creature to life,
The
aliens,
It's a direct rehash of Frankenstein.
Frankenfurter.
Yeah.
It's Tim Curry's
And Rocky
character.
Horror.
Rocky
Balboa.
rah,
and
rah,
Bullwinkle.
Yo, I didn't see a single moose or a squirrel in this movie, so that loses it some
Docks at 2
points.
points.
Fucking
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah, that's 1 out of 10. Worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Not enough meese.
I loved the when the guy. What was he? What was his character? The German guy showed up on the
Dr.
wheelchair.
Scott.
Yes,
Dr.
and
Von Scott.
they brought him up to the top floor with a super magnet, and it
yeah.
just was him shooting through the house.
On a
You could
string.
clearly see like the cuts in the carpet where they were like dragging
Yeah.
him through up the stair, almost like they set up a roller coaster for
Yeah,
just him.
it was awesome.
That was so funny, and the music that played during it was
From the Zen
From
room.
the Zen room.
The Zen room was insane. The characters were incredible. Every time the criminologist showed up, it gave such like Twilight Zone
of
vibes
course.
that I loved.
He kind of acts as like a chorus,
Pretty like
Yeah,
a Greek
absolutely.
chorus.
like in this story, which is very like reminiscent of like Greek tragedies.
Kind of explaining like what's going on in the story.
Also with the many statues of like
Yeah, of
Greek figures and like
and Brad Major
yeah, and his major package
and his little riff.
No, it was a big riff. I don't know if
Yeah.
you know that.
Rocky did have a little riff.
Brad was packing way more than
Yeah.
I was ready for.
He had a major riff.
It's true. It makes sense though.
He
Because
fucking
his
raffed with that
personality-
riff.
His personality was not there.
It was awful.
So now we know why
Yeah.
Janet was there. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
For that raff.
I feel like it's also kind of fun because you mentioned how the people are like at the wedding at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of implies that this was sort of like a setup.
Yeah, it was planned.
Yeah, I do get the feeling that at least that's what it felt like
Yeah,
to
'cause, like,
me,
when they're-
that it was a setup.
When they get like caught in the dead end, they have all like the motorcycles passing by them. So like they planted like whatever made their tire get flat,
Yep.
which caused them to go to the manor.
Probably like Jax or something that
Yeah.
like flattened the tire.
It was Jax, yeah.
Jacksepticeye.
Top of the morning, deal, Hattie.
I made a man with a blonde hair and a tan.
Jack and Furter.
I'd watch
Jack
that movie.
and Furter?
I'd watch that. That's
My
the
favorite porn. Wow.
Whoa! Jackenfurter. I hardly know her.
Well, going back to the music, Matt, what are some of your favorite tracks from the soundtrack?
So we did a structure thing just now where I asked him about the music, then I asked him about a specific scene he liked and character.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna do it.
Okay.
Incredible.
I don't like your tone.
Did you ask
I
me
don't
about a
didn't
character?
fucking ask.
What?
I don't know if you asked me about a character.
Well,
did you?
who's one of your favorite characters?
Oh shit!
Well, now I did.
All of them. They were all really good. Susan Sarandon because she was pretty, and the criminologist. I really like the
Criminologist is great.
He's
criminologist.
silly. He's fun.
My favorite. Oh my! I love all the music in this. This is probably one of my. I'm not a huge musical guy. I did musical theater for like a long time. This is one of the only musicals that I will listen to front to back, like on long car rides. Like it's one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. I'd say my favorite songs from this. I really fuck with Sword of Damocles.
Oh yeah, it's so
That
underrated.
was a good song.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's such a fucking good track. Such a great opener for this character.
Yeah.
It's also the only time where he actually like speaks in coherent
Exactly. Words.
where besides Rose Tint My World, but
Yeah.
he's also, mind controlled, so what does it matter?
And also like foreshadows his like character like arc throughout the movie, which is really cool too.
I would say that one. Over at the Frankenstein place is
Yeah.
a fucking banger. I love the way that this musical utilizes drum fills
Yeah.
in like every in-between moment between the verses and the choruses and stuff. Like there's just not like a dead space
Everything just keeps
anywhere
moving. It's
in any
so
of the
good.
music. I love science fiction double feature.
Yeah.
That's like on a playlist of mine that I frequently listen to all the time at night specifically. Sweet Transvestite.
It's iconic.
It's probably one of
Yeah.
the best character intros
oh,
of all
100%,
time.
dude. It's awesome.
I've never seen a character intro like to music that was that good before.
Yeah.
In a movie.
and you get a perfect sense for who this character is.
No, exactly.
It's amazing.
I love the way that he like rips off the overcoat
the cloak.
and then he has this like iconic outfit.
Yeah.
It felt on par with like the introduction of Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. That's what I think is one of the best characters, where he's just like
Yeah,
the
sinking
ship
on a boat.
is fully sunk just enough that he steps onto the gangplank and it fully sinks. It's so that it was on par, if not better than that. So yeah, I fully agree.
I would probably say to kind of wrap up the music portion, Hot Patootie,
Yeah.
and then Rose Tint My World.
Yeah.
And also Superheroes, which unfortunately in my cut of the movie that I bought on YouTube, they cut it out entirely.
Yeah, which is weird because it's the finale song for the entire movie.
None of you saw just now, but Tom did a reminiscent gesture of David Coulier's
Coulier
character
from the show Full House.
Joey. His cut it out.
Yes.
We're gonna get sued.
Don't tell John.
Oh, I'm fucking telling him.
No,
He's gonna come on the podcast to chew you out.
the hostess with the stay mostest.
Merch? Anyone? Merch? No.
That's how we get sued.
No, those are my favorite songs. Oh God, I love all the scenes. I'll pick one. I think my favorite scene is probably from Rose Tints My World.
Yeah.
When again Frankenfurter, like the curtains lift and like the tower that shows the mind control RKO, like
Yeah.
like that shit is gas.
And it has his big like solo number before his other big solo number.
I love the Don't Dream It Be It scene where
Yeah.
they're all in like that pool with the amazing mosaic on the bottom floor lining.
Creation of Adam.
But other than that, I would also say that like actually two more. They're actually in the beginning. I love just the opening lips
Oh yeah.
of Science Fiction Double Feature, which I have a fun fact for you all, especially for you because you just watched it, Tom. So the character most known for their red lips in the show is Magenta, which those are her lips.
Yeah, that's the actresses.
in like the intro. However, that's not her singing. She did sing, like recorded a whole ass like rendition of this of Science Fiction Double Feature, but instead the guy who played Riff Raff, Richard O'Brien, dubbed the entire thing with his voice.
Yeah, that's
so
him
if you're
singing.
wondering why the voice sounds so weird,
Brother and sister, you know what I mean?
father and boyfriend, you know what I mean?
A lot of really healthy relationships in this movie.
Yeah, there were in fact relationships.
Yeah, quite a lot of them.
Yes.
I would say that one, and then I just you mentioned the effects used, especially like with the lightning.
They were so good.
for over at the Frankenstein place.
yeah.
Visually, that's one of my favorite scenes. I
Yeah.
love seeing Riff Raff in
In
the
the
window,
window.
just being like,
The darkness must come, and so must I.
Magenta, get over here. Hey,
You call him like you see him.
hey, listen,
It's the truth.
they did it before Game of Thrones,
that's,
okay?
you
Yeah.
know what? I guess you're right. I mean, Rocky Horror really is the Game of Thrones of
The
1970.
70s.
Yeah, horror musical B movie tributes because there's a few of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
I still got to see Phantom of the Paradise. I have it saved somewhere to
Yeah.
watch later.
I think
And a
you'd
Clash
enjoy
of
it.
Kings.
Naturally. If we're talking favorite characters, oh my god. Frankenfurter is my
Yeah.
all-time favorite character in this movie. I love Tim Curry's delivery of both his lines and his lyrics. I don't love the character of Brad Majors, but all of his singing moments fucking slap.
Oh, definitely.
Damn It, Janet is such a good
It's so
song.
fun.
I mean, I do like listening to that song, but I don't think it's my top.
Yeah.
I almost did it for like a cabaret in my high school with some girl.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I
Gotcha.
feel like Brad is
That's
not a
actually-
that's
character
lost
you're meant
media.
to like, to be fair.
Oh, no, you're not supposed
So-
to.
no,
Absolutely
yeah.
not.
I
So-
just like his singing moments.
Yeah, but I feel like the dislike is intentional.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%. He like represents like the backwards views of the 50s, and like Janet is
Amen.
kind of like the changing views of the 70s.
You know how
like
to
they-
Madison.
Exactly.
Let's go back to the Brad. You know what I mean? Let's bring it back.
The Brad
Let's
view.
bring the 50s back.
The Brad ideals.
It's a Brad Summer.
It's a Brad
Brad
Boy summer. A Brad Boy summer.
It's like the
Yeah,
fucking green
it's-
like
yeah.
album, but it's
It's
just his
blue.
crotch in the fucking background as like a
Says Brad.
water mic.
Brat Summer is
Watermark,
over.
Brad and Arial
It's
font.
Brad Autumn, okay? We're moving into Brad
Brad
Autumn.
Boy Autumn.
Brad Boy Autumn. Everyone get ready.
Yep.
God, he really was packing.
Majorly.
Trick or treat, am I right?
He's not one of my favorite characters. I can't get past that.
Hey,
Riff or raff.
no one can.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really like him as a character, but his musical contributions do slap. Frankenfurter is one of my favorites. I love Magenta.
Yeah.
her speaking is almost an accent. Like I love it. It's
awesome.
it's almost
Yeah.
an accent.
God, that's
It
so
always
real.
goes in and out.
I feel like every character in this movie had almost an accent at one time or another.
Tim Curry really went like the Irish route with this.
Oh yeah.
I think that's
is
just how Tim
interesting.
Curry sounds.
No, it's like just a bit more British. He kind of went. He was like sound and pounds.
Oh,
Like
yes.
He kind of did like that kind of shit.
Uh-huh.
What was it? That kind of shit. It's called an accent.
and steam.
What was it? I think Janet Weiss is a great character. I just kind of like how she's supposed to be sort of like the true.
Protagonist.
Yeah.
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 And her
yeah.
journey of discovery.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably I'd say Dr. Scott.
He's fun.
He's just
so
like
good.
a funny fucking character.
He's a cretin. I love it.
I
He
love
really is.
the reveal during the final number when he moves the blanket aside and
he has
lifts
the
the
fishnets.
fishnet leg.
Yeah, and then he just like has like an opera note that he holds.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
No, it's great. And honestly,
He was also doing an accent of some kind.
It was
It
German.
it was German, but also like
German-esque.
sometimes it wasn't,
Yeah.
and then it was again.
we've got to get out. No, I would say those are like the ones that I really, really enjoy.
yeah.
Though it is really funny when Peter Hinwood, I think is what his name
Yeah.
is, who plays Rocky Horror, watching him trying to like match up with the choreography in the final number
It's
when he's
so
like
funny.
barely doing the
Kicking.
leg kicks.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I don't blame him. I've seen a
He
lot
was
of
a
behind.
model, not an actor, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And then he was like never heard from again. I think there's like a photo of a guy who like found him on the street. And was like, oh my god, it's Rocky.
Oh damn.
But the wrong Rocky.
Yeah.
It's Rocky.
Yo,
Horror.
wait. Adrian.
Horrifying.
What?
Janet,
Go Janet.
I did it. That was
That's
a
what Rocky was doing in the
Balboa.
movie when he's doing his little dances.
There you go.
I don't really blame him not really wanting to put some effort into leg kicks
Yeah.
because for those who don't know, this movie was kind of in a development hell. I don't know if people really knew this, but the filming apparently was just a horrid experience. It was really cold. They
Yeah.
filmed on site in England, not in Denton. I guess I shouldn't say on site.
The real life Denton.
Yeah, exactly. No, they filmed in England. All the outside scenes were horribly cold, and I think the castle was also not insulated.
Yeah.
So it was freezing in there.
Like the pool scene.
To be fair, most castles aren't.
You big
Yeah.
castle guy, Tom.
Yeah.
I dabble.
I'm a nerd. I'm a fucking dweeb, certified.
Brimstone is not a good insulator.
It's not. No, can confirm.
Yeah, no, they because there was the one scene where they're all just fucking like getting absolutely soaked in the rain.
Yeah.
And they actually, I think one of the characters contracted pneumonia
Oh,
and
damn.
had like a
That
whole
tracks.
ass like swollen spleen and shit.
That's pretty bad.
Like it was really bad. I want to say it was Susan Sarandon,
that
actually.
makes
Damn.
sense.
But
Out in the rain. There's also the moment in during the climax where I think like Brad takes Janet into his arms and she like kind of like steps over to him. She accidentally like stepped on Barry Bostwick's foot, like breaking it with her heel.
yeah,
Yeah.
Damn.
And you could like see his reaction in like the background. Like, he like flinches like really bad.
That's really gotta suck if it was
Yeah.
cold, especially
Yeah,
because
dude.
Brad and Janet are borderline naked the whole
the whole
time.
time.
Uh-huh.
Yikes. Well, they get robes on eventually.
Yeah.
Well, Brad does.
Brad gets a
Yeah,
robe.
that's true. That's true. What was it? There was also some animosity between some of the castmates.
Really?
I mean, especially after the whole thing with the intro where Patricia.
Richard singing over Patricia.
Patricia Quinn, getting dubbed by Richard
Yeah.
O'Brien. That was actually like a huge legal thing afterwards.
Yeah.
Because it was, there was a contract somewhere and said like, oh, she's singing it, but it's credited to him
Yeah.
because in the footage she does sing. He just dubbed over it
For some weird reason. I don't
like
know.
for no reason.
He could do it better, you know?
There's a lot of really weird shit kind of surrounding this movie. Like, there are 2 soundtracks on Spotify, one of which is mixed really bad. Actually, they're both kind of mixed badly. But the one is like super quiet and it's missing like a bunch of songs. And the other one is a little bit louder, but the mixing is not the best. But it includes like everything, including the reprise at the end of Time Warp.
Gotcha. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Does it have Sword of Damocles on that one?
it does.
Wow. Because the one that I've listened to does not have that.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. The one that has like the really cool cover, it doesn't have that one.
Damn.
The one where it's like
all different
Frankenfurter.
colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that one does not have that one.
Damn.
Or and it doesn't divide Rose Tints My World.
Yeah. It's
like
all
it-
one thing.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't have Plan Schmanet Janet either.
Mhm.
Damn.
Wise Up Janet Weiss. Yeah, yeah. No. Yeah. Sorry. No, it's honestly like it's a really confusing thing when it comes to the copyright. I mean, as we mentioned before, our cut of the movie cut out a whole
the
fucking
finale.
scene.
Yeah.
I want to say they cut out another thing in it too, which it's kind of hard to tell because
Yeah.
the movie has a lot of jump cuts.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like really hard to tell, but I feel like there was something in the beginning that they cut out, and I'm not sure.
Like at the wedding or
Like maybe like either that or right after. Like I
Okay.
feel like
Was
there's a
it-
shot that was missing.
Was it
I'd have to watch
Seymour?
it.
Yeah, Seymour.
Yes.
Do you want to explain?
Little Shop of Horrors or Rocky Horror Picture Show have always blended together in my brain. So I spent a good like 3/4 of this movie waiting for a plant to show up, and also Rick Moranis.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I
Would've
know,
been crazy.
I would imagine both. I mean, I've only seen Rocky Horror. I've never seen Little Shop of Horrors. I heard it's really, really good.
It's very
Yeah.
good.
I feel like though that'd be such a fucking banger of a show if it was both of them.
The Ricky Horror Picture Show.
There should be like a night where they just do both soundtracks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just they get like a professional band and people on stage to sing it, and then they just like play through the whole thing of both.
That'd be cool.
And that's what they call it, the Ricky Horror,
Ricky
Picture,
Horror Picture
Yeah, because it's
Plant.
Rick Moranis.
Plant.
Shop.
Shop.
The Ricky Horror Picture Shop.
There it is. We did
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
We're
I
gonna get
love that.
sued.
I love that we did Ricky for Rick Moranis. We didn't try to
Instead
use
of
the
like
name
Little
of the
Horror,
movie. Yeah,
Little Horror Picture Shop or
Is
something.
Seymour
Yeah.
the name of the plant?
Seymour's
Yeah.
the plant.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
no. Seymour's the guy. The plant's name is Audrey.
No, yeah, Audrey.
Audrey
yeah.
2.
Audrey
Yeah,
Hepburn.
and it says "Feed Me Seymour." That's
Yeah.
what it is.
I see. Okay.
I've never actually seen it.
I have seen it.
I've never
It's very
seen it.
good.
I'm just like, this is just information I've absorbed by
Yeah.
existing.
Guys, question of the week: should we do another sort of like
Halloween
Halloween
movie watch?
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. I would love to show you guys Little Shop of Horrors or Phantom of the
I'm
Paradise.
down for whatever.
Is Phantom of the Paradise like musically involved?
Yeah, oh, it's a musical.
Okay.
I'm just
why
gonna,
the fuck did I phrase
Actually,
it like that?
There's a fun connection between Phantom and Rocky Horror in like a really roundabout way. So there's a pseudo sequel to Rocky Horror called Shock Treatment,
I've heard of it.
where
I know nothing about it.
Richard, Patricia, and Little Nell come back as different characters, and Brad and Janet come back as the same characters but played by different actors. And the actress who plays Janet is one of the main characters in Phantom of the Paradise, which is really cool. It's a really cool like roundabout way, which was like a really cool connection.
fucking nerd. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, shut up, Mr. Castles, Mr. Muppets, Long John Silver looking ass.
Yeah, it was a really good movie. The Muppet movies are incredible.
I seen the Muppet movie.
I think
Muppet Takes Manhattan, that one.
I think Disney needs to stop doing live action remakes and start doing Muppet remakes, and we'd all be a lot happier.
I agree.
Muppet Family Christmas is a great album. But speaking of great things, AJ, what are your thoughts on the movie? Give me your favorite songs, your scenes, and characters, but in that order. So help me God.
Song, scene, characters.
Yeah.
Okay. Time Warp has been one of my favorites forever. I love playing it on drums. It's such a fun like warm up song. I love playing it. Good for fills.
Basic answer, this guy.
It's a great song.
Yeah,
What are you
dude,
talking
just
your
giving
fucking
it.
answer.
Yeah, he's just Matt. I just feel like he's copying us. Do you ever get that feeling? Like
I didn't even,
AJ
not say
I didn't
Time
even
War.
say Time War. It's a great song.
But you were thinking it, and now he's copying us.
He's got me there.
Yeah,
Shit,
you-
he's right.
Rose tints my world. Am I right?
All right. So I guess I can say only songs that you two didn't. Yeah, Wise Up Janet Weiss is really good.
Well, superheroes.
Actually, honestly, underrated track, Eddie's Teddy. I love
That's a
that
good
song.
one.
Dr. Scott song. That was a lot of fun.
dun,
With little
dun,
dance
dun,
in the wheelchair.
I hope everyone at home knows that we did the little dance.
All together.
That's what it's called. It's credited in the show.
Scott's
the
little dance. Dr. Scott's little dance.
He had a stunt double for it.
He did. They did his arms.
It was like, whose line is it anyway?
Yeah.
He had the arms behind the
Stuck
back.
his arms through.
And actually, it was Meatloaf. He came
Yeah.
in and did the little arms.
Speaking of Meatloaf, Hoppatooties a great song.
So
I
fucking
actually
love
good.
picked
that
that
one.
one, so you're.
Can't say that one either. Fuck.
Fuck up. Keep going.
This is why I'm not invited on other shows.
Sweet Transvestite is fucking incredible.
It's amazing.
It's such a good song. Like you said, like the perfect character introduction. There's so much confidence and energy. I like how they also incorporate the story elements into the song as well and make that a verse,
Yeah.
which is really cool. Touch Me. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Touch me, if you will.
Yeah.
I thought you were just like giving us a commit. Touch me.
Touch me if
It,
you will.
it is in my contract. Okay.
Executive. Yeah. He had to write that in.
That's true.
Good thing he will never call on family meeting.
Nope, never. That's impossible. He respects the boundaries
Yeah,
of
that's
family
true.
meeting.
Wait, I'm getting a call. Oh no, it's my dad. We're good. We're
We're
good.
not getting a call.
We're good. It's okay. It's not
but yeah.
It's not him.
Touch Me is a really fun song. Very much shows Janet's progression. And let Susan Sarandon go the fuck off.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
But not as much as in Roast in My World.
She goes the fuck off, and she gets the
She
fuck off.
fucking eats that
Anyway,
song.
well,
Yeah, she
I
does.
think she gets eaten. Anyway,
Oh.
heyo. It was a sex reference.
I get
Continue,
it.
AJ.
I get it. I think Little Nell also kind of like goes off in that song as Columbia. I
No,
think
she's fantastic.
she's great.
Is that character's name?
Yeah, Columbia.
I didn't know most of it. I spent the whole movie trying to remember Brad and Janet.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
I'm gonna be honest also, and I mean this respectfully. I think you talked during most of like the exposition that
That's a
they
good
were trying to
point.
lay out.
I have that problem.
I mean, so do I. Honestly, I was refraining so hard from trying to sing, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So
I feel like all three of us were talking a decent amount.
At points.
I mean, also
Yeah.
for a first reaction, kind of like having a verbal like response, I totally understand. I watched
Yeah,
the
there
first
was-
time I watched this, I think like I was in high school, and I think it was like around midnight. I had like school the next day, but I had to be quiet.
Yeah.
because I was just looking on my laptop and just like watching this film. I think I pirated it
Oh,
actually.
nice.
Yeah, not
just
really.
like Long John Silver from Treasure.
Muppet
Island.
Treasure Island.
It all fucking adds up.
It all
man.
comes back.
That's true. To the Muppets.
At the end of the day, I can always bring it back to the Muppets.
Okay, side tangent. Imagine if the Muppets did this
Rocky
show.
Horror. Who would be?
It
what
would be
characters?
incredible. Oh god, who would be the human?
Gonzo has to be Frankenfurter.
It's either that or Frankenfurter is the one human, and it's
That
Tim
could work,
Curry
too.
again.
He's just
Honestly,
whipping
that'd be
the
cool.
shit out of like Bobo the bear.
That's Pepe.
Actually, I feel like Riff Raff.
Messy, messy.
I feel like Riff
They
Raff.
never liked me.
They never liked the King Prawn.
I like Pepe as a riffraff.
or the Frankenstein or Rocky Horror should be the one human.
No, Miss Piggy could be Frankenfurter.
She would
Yeah,
be
she
so
would kill.
good.
She'd be fucking
Kermit
incredible.
would be
Yo.
Brad. I think that goes
Who?
without saying.
Kermit, yeah.
Kermit would be Brad.
We're hoping to use your phone.
Can anyone do the Madison?
Fucking Fozzie Bear is Eddie.
Or Riff Raff. I feel like Fozzie Bear is Riff Raff.
waka.
Does Fozzie have a sister who could be Magenta?
No, it should be Gonzo and a chicken. It should be Gonzo and a chicken.
Gonzo and Camilla the chicken?
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Or Gonzo is a Rocky Horror.
or
and
Honeydew and
Camilla-
Beaker.
Oh my god, that's incredible!
That's it. Frankenfurter is
incredible.
Honeydew and Beaker. That's it.
Can we do this
Yeah,
somehow?
riffraff. and
God, get Jim
Magenta.
Henson on the phone.
That's
oh wait,
awesome.
get Jim Henson's son on the phone.
Oh my god. Wait.
That's awesome.
I love doing Muppet movie
bits.
castings.
The best thing about it too, and then we'll get back to all your favorite moments. All the chickens have to be like the rest of the ensemble.
yeah.
Oh, totally.
So
Yeah, the
Time Warp
dancers.
is
God, I
just
can't
chili
wait for the
chickens.
one really small chicken. There was a very short person among all the people dancing.
What was the name of that
Possibly
name?
named Rabbit or Fakan Fullwider. Fakan Full and Wider.
Man, I wish I would get something full and wider. You know what I mean?
Fellas.
Rabbit. Anyway.
Yeah. What else? What other songs are bangers besides all of them? Over the Frankenstein Place is great. Love it. Just it's such a nice setup to that song or that moment. Yeah, I think that those are like the big ones to stand out. Roast in My World especially. That's such a great like opener to that climax track. Yeah.
Favorite scenes.
Favorite scene? Well, of course, like the finale, like the whole dance in the pool with the reveal of Riff Raff and Magenta going back to Planet Transsexual, and then like the death of Frankenfurter. That's very well done all throughout.
You can say it, AJ. The sex scenes, you loved them.
I'm not saying that.
That's all he was saying.
I don't think we're
No,
allowed
The
to say
whole
that.
movie, he was
I don't
like,
think you
"These
should
are
say
my
that
favorite
either."
scenes." He kept saying it.
Tom, don't put words in my mouth. Like Frankenfurter
Hey.
put something in Brad's mouth.
Hey,
Actually, no. He put something of Brad's in
In
his
his
mouth.
mouth, that is
I
true.
choose to believe they weren't brainwashed yet, and it was all consensual.
They
The
weren't
brain-
brainwashed
yeah, they
yet.
weren't.
They weren't.
Yeah.
Then we're
Because
good.
they wouldn't have been like,
'cause
"Hey, I don't want to do this."
The problem
Yeah,
was
that's
he
fair.
got
was
tricked.
a little.
Yeah.
He pushed a little too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And by a little too hard, I mean at all.
The creation of Rocky is really cool, and I love how it just goes into the sort of Damocles number, as well as just the Eddie scene. The Eddie scene is awesome.
I like when he gets chased by the dogs.
Yeah, the hounds with the weird ass like prog synth riff in the background. Yeah, the ambient music's fucking crazy in this movie. I love it. The dinner scene's great. I love the tension because
it's
after
great.
like the reveal that like everyone's been sleeping with Frankenfurter and it's just dead silent, only cut by like the meat cutter. Yeah, it's great. He's literally cutting the tension. Yeah, I think that's like and like walking up to Frankenstein Place with Janet having the newspaper over her head and they sing together with Riff Raff.
The one thing in that scene that like somehow didn't get wet.
Yeah.
But the newspaper,
Yeah.
it was pretty soaked over her head. It was
Yeah,
like
but, like,
gray.
It wasn't like crumbling in her hand.
Well, yeah.
Unlike Brad's hair, which looked like
Or relationship.
that's true.
Brad looked like he had jumped in a pool. Like
Foreshadowing.
Exactly. True.
Wow.
Yeah, I
it
think those
really
are-
is a masterpiece.
Barry Bostwick, the world's wettest man.
I think it's Whitest Man, actually.
Sorry.
I'm the world's wettest man when I was watching this. Am
Did
I
you
right,
have
fellas?
did you have an instance of seat wetting, Tom?
Hey,
And after some heavy petting,
I think all three of us did. Okay? The heavy petting went 3 ways.
That's true.
and the seat wetting went
through-
4. Wait. I wet 2 different
I think some of my
seats.
favorite characters. Underrated. I like Columbia a lot. I think she's a lot of fun. She represents the past of Frankenfurter's life, and it's really cool how she gets like this kind of emotional outburst telling Frankenfurter how it is and how he's kind of a shitty person.
it's a great monologue.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Soliloquy, my bad.
I think my appreciation for Janet has definitely like grown the more I've watched this movie. Just seeing her like character develop and her just kind of like embrace this like new side of herself. It's just a really cool like character arc, especially paired with like the shitty boyfriend and Brad. And I think like she's just a really fun character to root for. Tim Curry obviously steals the show. He's
Yeah.
phenomenal in everything he does. And Riff Raff is just goofy.
Oh, yes, he is.
Yeah, in many, many ways.
Every Dr. Frankenstein needs an Igor. you know?
Exactly.
And he's a great Igor who has some banger songs.
That's true. Richard O'Brien has some interesting vocaling style, but still very good.
and interesting project management skills.
That's also
Hey,
very true.
You know, it got made and people love it. So,
That's true.
you know. And only one person got pneumonia. So,
That's a win.
I can't confirm that it's only one person
You're
that
right,
got
you're
pneumonia.
In
only
the description.
One can check the description. We'll give you the counts of pneumonia.
Yep. We'll have a pneumonia counter. We
Question
would.
of the week:
Well,
How many people got
There
pneumonia?
will be 2 different counters for pneumonia. It'll be pneumonia from filming of the show of the movie, and then pneumonia from the recording of this podcast.
That's right. It could be 3.
Yeah,
We're actually gonna jump into a pool and start making out with each other.
we've been doing that this whole time. Can't do tell.
Well, I mean, I think that wraps up my thoughts. Any final thoughts, Tom, about the movie? Anything else you want to get out?
It was really good. I don't know if it's like,
What would you give it a rating?
ooh,
Yeah.
like a 7 to an 8 out of 10, probably. It was really, really good. It's definitely not my favorite musical of all time. I love me some Mamma Mia. That's
Fair.
just ABBA music, though.
Yeah. ABBA's good.
And a
ABBA is
wild
good.
story idea. Yeah, I'd say like 8 out of 10 probably. Maybe like 7.5, but leaning 8. So
Nice.
somewhere in that range.
7.7, 7.8.
So yeah, something like
hypothetically.
that. Something
Yeah.
like that. It was good. I did enjoy it. I don't know. I don't think it was like a life-changing movie
Yeah.
experience for me. Like I know people that like similar to Matt. I know a lot of people who will laud this movie as like one of the greatest things. Like they love it so much. It means so much to
Yeah.
them, and it doesn't have that impact. And I do think that's because I found it at such a late time in my life. The chances of finding a movie that is gonna like impact
Yeah.
me in that way at 23. Yeah, I said it again. In case you missed it earlier.
They're now in your bank accounts, dude.
Yeah,
it's over.
shit. Well, good. If you find
walls.
any money in there, let me know.
That's actually his PIN number, 2323.
Yeah, AJ. How did you know? It's not 2323. It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
I just need the first 2 digits, dude.
Damn.
And they're
'Cause
also
you knew
the
I
only.
repeated- You know I can only remember 2 numbers, so I had to double
You
it
had
up.
to use your fucking age. Like
Yeah, I change it every
Changes
year.
every year.
that's such an ordeal. Like the idea of somebody
That's-
going and doing that.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
fuck, he's
something-
back again.
There's something so funny about
Let me guess,
like,
2424.
you'd think the idea of changing your like credit card pass key every year would be good security, but because it's
Yeah,
just my
this-
age twice, it's actually a really shitty password, which is funny.
Someone's like, "How old are you?" It doesn't matter.
Don't worry about it. Don't listen to this episode of the Family Album Podcast.
We'll censor out his age.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it, at least, like, as a movie.
I did. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's definitely something I'd look forward to watching again. I feel like
Yeah.
it's a movie. I don't see a world where I ever sit down to watch this alone, but I see a world where this is a very fun movie to put on at like
With a
a
group.
party or like
Yeah.
a
Oh,
yeah.
Halloween party and stuff
Absolutely.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those are my thoughts. It could maybe it'll make my list a list I actually have of all of the holidays and what movies I like to watch on and
Nice.
around them.
That'd be pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, what are your thoughts?
I have a deep and personal connection to this movie. It's just like, as I mentioned before, it's one of my comfort movies. The music is just like, in my opinion, probably some of the best soundtrack music I've ever heard. it has its quirks and all, like the film itself, but I feel like it just makes it iconic because the fact that they were able to put on such an amazing show with such a limited cast and like, I mean, hey, like, also not like the best film work, but like pretty.
No, but it had fun film
Yeah,
work.
Yeah.
Like
that's the charm.
Exactly.
Yeah, it had that 70s charm. All of the,
Yeah.
as I said, the visual effects and just the visuals in general. The camera
Yeah.
work was very fun.
Totally.
Even
The,
like the
the
lasers.
overhead shot of Eddie on the bike, like
Yeah.
all that stuff is so cheesy and fun.
Even like the lasers when
Oh yeah, Riff Raff
is
shooting Rocky.
and then Rocky doesn't go down.
bounces off his chest. That's awesome.
I would like to let the audience know that in that moment, Tom audibly just went, "What the fuck?"
And then I believe I compared him to David Hasselhoff
That's right.
from the SpongeBob movie because that's the energy
Yeah.
he gave off to me.
Incredible. All the performances are just fucking incredible. They really sell it, I feel like. The story is fun. You do get absorbed in it, even if you don't really know what's going on your first watch, I feel.
And I didn't.
it warrants rewatches because it's more rewarding, like when you like learn the things that they're trying to say.
Yeah.
Because then you start looking for shit in the background.
Yeah.
Including names that are insane in the credits.
Or cast injuries.
yeah, that's true.
Pneumonia
Yeah.
If you will.
contractions.
No, I love this movie. It definitely like defined a lot of my taste, not just in like music, but just in musicals in general. I'm not really a musical guy. This is one of the only musical soundtracks that I will listen to just front to back.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know, like despite this being overly campy in its style and like, you know, full of the glam, it's not like corny. Like I like it. It's a cult classic for a reason. And I hear the shows are fucking wild.
I would love to see one.
I really want to go to one
Yeah.
so bad. We got to do it next year.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, if we're doing a rating, I mean, hey, I would definitely say like a 9, maybe like a 9.7.
Yeah.
I feel like, because it's definitely like in the top something of my favorite movies. I don't know if it would be top 10, because I do have like, if it isn't top 10, it's not in like the top half. It's
Yeah,
probably
the bottom
like
half.
in the bottom half.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like movies, so if I end up if you're in the top 10, that's
pretty good, yeah.
But no, I mean, I love this movie for a lot of really obvious reasons, but I think for a lot of really deep personal identity reasons that like just kind of made me just, I don't know, find a lot of appreciation.
Totally.
Because overall, the message that I love is in the Rose Tints My World suite of songs, and it's "Don't Dream It, Be It."
Yeah.
It's such a good fucking message in this slew of chaos
Yes.
and lasers and,
And
lightning
statues.
And horniness.
sex
Just an incredible
Yeah,
amount
there's
of
so much
horniness.
horniness in this movie.
bulge.
And bulge.
You thought the Purple Rain was a horny album. This is a horny ass fucking movie.
That's
That's
True.
true.
And that's where they brought me on.
That's very true.
Infamous sex savage Tom Murphy.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Purple Rain episode. It is pretty good. It's probably one of my favorite ones that I ever edited for Tom Hates Albums.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was great. What else do you like about this movie? Or final thoughts?
I mean, I really think, just as a general note to the audience, if you've never seen it, it's quite an adventure. Fucking watch it, man. It's such a
Yeah.
good experience.
Definitely.
It's a wild time.
It is.
A wild and an untamed
Like
time.
you mentioned me talking a lot of me talking was like, Jesus Christ, this is horny. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Wait, what is this? Why are they here? What? It was
brother
a
and
lot of
sister?
that. It was a lot of that.
That was the one thing you didn't raise your eyebrow at.
Well, I watched Game of Thrones, so
You're
That's
used to
fair.
incest.
yeah.
AJ and I looked at each other at one point. I was like, "Do you know?" And he went, "Yeah, I do."
I mean, to be fair, I didn't know when they were like kissing for the first time, and then it was revealed later, and I was like, "They're aliens," you know. I was more worried about his new hairstyle.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
The
It's
weird
ass.
ponytail.
His hair and outfit was really bad all
Yeah.
movie, and then it somehow got worse.
He also lost his hunch in the finale.
He did well.
Yeah.
He like stood up straight and put on
Oh.
his shoulder
yes,
pads.
obviously. His dress, his alien dress.
Exactly, and his alien thong.
Yeah, it's true.
Uh-huh.
Canonically,
Well, it's more of a speedo than a thong, I guess.
Yeah.
it's a
but-
great movie. Oh, and the costumes are fucking amazing.
They're so good.
Costumes are
they're
wild.
iconic. Yeah, for those characters.
Yeah.
Very, very notable.
Those are my favorite things.
Nice. I also quite enjoy this movie a lot. I'd say it probably would go in my top 10 movies because I also have not watched a lot of movies. So this one stands out to me. It was actually similar. I watched it at a similar time to when I was discovering a lot more music. During that like the musical renaissance, as they call it. So I was listening to like the soundtrack on like repeat because I fucking loved it.
I like to imagine that like when AJ was discovering all his favorite music, it was like back to back to back. So like he listened to American football at his shitty job and then went home and went, you know what? I need to pick me up. I want to see some titties.
It gave me Rocky Horror.
Hey, you know,
Matt, it's like my life's an open book to you, you know?
if anything could make me like American football, it's still
tits.
not that. But, you know, it'd be the closest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair enough.
I think just like what it sets out to do is just like really important, especially for the time, and just kind of giving like outcasts a kind of a sense of community, and like this whole like phenomenon and culture around this movie is just really cool that it exists, and it's like been so strong throughout all the years, and like it's still happening with like the shows with like audience participation and like shadow cast during screenings. It's just like really cool that a lot of people can resonate with this movie in like all kinds of ways.
The thing about it that's also pretty incredible is that this movie warranted a rehash, which was a TV-only special with Victoria Justice playing Janet
That's
Weiss.
right, holy
And
shit.
I forget who played Brad Majors, but Laverne Cox played Frankenfurter.
And Adam Lambert was Eddie, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
I have that purchased as well. It's not bad. People hate on it, but like honestly,
People are going to hate on everything.
you kind of also can't fucking beat the original.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think they were trying to.
They're
Also,
trying to do their own thing.
for a TV release, they obviously had to modify it like a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit.
totally.
Because I forget if it was a Fox release.
It was
or-
Fox.
Yeah. And hey,
Hey, I remember being like around when like that was happening. That was
Me too.
cool. Yeah.
no, also, it was pretty fucking cool. Like, you see Victoria Justice in Victorious, and all of a sudden she's playing
Jenna
a character
Weiss.
in one of the raunchiest shows
dude.
of all time.
Toned down for TV.
Of course.
Yeah,
But
but still very cool.
Same time, and hey, the effort was there, and I think honestly, the singing in that one is out of this world.
I haven't seen it.
Personally, I like the original more because like the original is just amazing.
Can't beat it.
It's iconic in all directions. But AJ, I will stop talking. Please continue.
I'd also agree with you that I think this is probably my favorite like original soundtrack for a movie. It's like one that I always go back to and just like pick out songs to listen to or practice like drums to, because like you said, it's such a good track to like play drums to. And I'd say a dream like drumming job is like a live musical of this show. I would love to play drums for that. The characters are great. It has a really fun story. I love the tributes to like the genre, the music genres and the movie genres that they're playing. That they're kind of like playing with tropes, which is a lot of fun. The performances are fantastic. The setting, like all the sets are really cool. Very much going for the classic horror vibe. It's just a great movie all around. I'd say like a 8.5, 9 out of 10. Like it quite a lot.
I'm always very happy when I get to watch this movie. So, Tom, thank you for indulging us and watching it
Yeah.
for the very first time and giving us your thoughts.
Thanks for letting me take over the podcast just a little bit more. Every day I grow closer to soon this will just be
To usurping the family
it'll be
album
Tom's family album.
throne. Ew.
It'll be just me and Tim Curry.
If we could get Tim Curry on the show,
I would love that. That'd be really
He's
cool.
not in great shape, if I remember correctly. I feel like he had like a stroke
He
or
had a
something.
stroke.
Yeah.
He did resume his acting
Yeah,
career.
he was in a movie or something, like an indie film with like
I love
someone.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he was in Indiana Jones.
The Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, The Great Circle. He's gonna be in the video game.
I'm excited for that game.
Me too. God, I hope it's good.
Me too.
But yeah, he was in someone's like indie movie. Like he
Yeah.
just read the script at like, or they like sent it to him, or
Yeah.
like,
And he was like, this
what
is
if he
cool.
replies? You know, and he
Yeah.
was like, sure.
It's
like,
bet.
okay.
It's a
Sounds
very
good.
it's a very subdued role.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's almost like Saw-esque or like a puzzle like
Yeah.
murder
Death
room
room,
thing, and
yeah.
he's the guy that like creates the
Oh,
traps.
he's like
and is,
he's a
yeah,
jigsaw.
Yeah,
That's
he's the
cool.
jigsaw in that essentially.
Neat.
From what little I've seen of it.
Well, Tim Curry, if you're listening, which we know you are, we'd
Yeah.
love to have you on the show.
Absolutely.
And John Stamos, just in case you didn't listen to the Beach Boys
the first
episode,
time.
if you know, I just really gotta.
Hammer that home. Tom really wants you on the show.
It's gonna be crazy when we get Stamos, though. It's all because of me.
When?
That's gonna put us on the map.
exactly the Stamos episode.
Matt, if I doubt myself, my dreams won't come true. Okay.
And hey, don't dream it, be it.
Exactly. That's why I'm gonna be John Stamos for the rest of my life.
Tom is really giving himself over to absolute pleasure.
It's true.
Well, guys, I think this was a pretty successful episode of Family Meeting. As always, thank you so much for listening. I'm Matt Glass,
I'm AJ Tenari.
And I'm Tom Murphy.
and we will see you in a regular episode style next week.
Happy Halloween.
I won't be there.
Peace.
Oh my God, we got Tim Curry.